We also have plans to set up Zeitgeist societies in multiple universities across the UK, including Plymouth and Leeds. So that's a really brief summary of the UK chapter, and I'll now hand over to Gilbert, who will give you more of an international perspective of the movement. Thank you. Test.
All right, we're all set up. So, how's everybody doing? You all right? I'm glad everybody came out today. Last year I flew to New York, and it's an 11-hour flight, which is quite messed up if you're from Amsterdam. And then on the Z-Day, it started to rain, which was a little bit of a disappointment, because everybody came out, and when they got into the room, everybody was soaked. So that wasn't very, well, accommodating, if you will. But today it's quite dry, so I'm happy about the weather. I like London. I've been touring around a bit. I've never been here before. I arrived on Friday, and I like dancing, so I went out and had some salsa dancing with some London girls. It was good. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that today, so let's get down to business. First off, I'd like to thank the UK team, in particular London, of course. I've had the pleasure of meeting them yesterday because we had the screening, and I saw how good they work together. It's like that all around the world, but the London team is one of our most established chapters, if you will. Sorry, I sound a bit shaky because it's quite scary. But, so forgive me for that. But yeah, the London team, they work together really well. I think it's a very good example. So, I don't know, you can clap with me if you want, but I just want to thank the London team. So for those of you that missed it, and think Budak is this guy, my name is Gilbert. I coordinate the international chapters, which means that basically, I'm a background guy. What I do is I make sure that every chapter around the globe is accommodated and make sure that they are able to do their activism correctly. We have international meetings, which occur online, obviously, because we can't all physically meet on a physical location. At these meetings, we discuss what we're going to do as a movement, what would be good ideas, what would be bad ideas. Organizational processes that need to be cleared out, that's stuff that we all already do. I'm going to talk about it a bit later in a few more slides, because there's this idea that this movement is not getting organized, which is total, never mind the word, but we're doing quite a lot to get organized. And I hope that today I'll be able to paint a picture so that you, as an activist, as a member, supporter, or just somebody who's interested in this movement, has an idea about how this movement is getting structured right now. All right, let's see. I'm going to talk about the organization, the Zeitgeist movement, like I just said. We're going to review some accomplishments and some goals that we've set for this year. I want to talk a bit about public relations and the media circus, because as we're growing, we're getting exposed to quite a lot of ridicule and a lot of other interesting articles. Samuel Gillonis, I don't know who read that one, but it was interesting to say the least. And I want to talk a bit about the faces of the movement. I don't know if I spelled that right. Is that all right? Yeah. English is not my first language, so I'm just checking. All right. So when we talk about ZM, Zeitgeist Movement, as an organization, we can divide what we have now into several parts. We have the chapters and the chapters administration. So that's what I'm part of, the chapters administration, who make sure that what is happening in these countries is regulated well, not in a restrictive manner, but purely informational, making sure the right information is being put out. Because we are an open movement, but to some degree, we do need to control the information that gets put out, because we have a specific idea that we represent. We want to make sure that it's the right one that gets out, and it doesn't get twisted in the wrong way, as unfortunately it does happen sometimes. Then we have the most important linguistic team. If we didn't have these people, the Zeitgeist movement would be nothing. Why? Because there are so many different languages, so many different ways of interpreting words. And without these people, we would be nowhere. With the Zeitgeist Moving Forward release, they put in a tremendous amount of effort just to get everything translated within like 2 weeks. And you know how difficult. Then we have a developers team. It's not really a concrete team yet, but we have people working on back-end stuff, which means if you're not a computer user, the stuff that needs to be coded into websites, into database systems, everything like that. And that's very important as well, because not everybody that we have in the movement right now knows how to do these things. I actually have people now in Kenya who want to start a chapter, but they don't have the resources or the knowledge right now to put up a website. And that's why we have such a team, so they can help these people set up a chapter in their area. So I'm very happy that we have those people too. We have the media project. I don't know if you're familiar with that. We're starting off right now with a media festival as well, so we can use all sorts of media in order to promote the movement and its direction. And let's see. We have the technology team, which is not a very concrete team yet, but they're working on some projects. I don't know, is anybody here familiar with the website zeitnews.org? Alright, so this is basically a website. It's their first project, which keeps track of all sorts of technological developments that are occurring worldwide in order to support what we're promoting, just to show that a lot is possible already. I don't know if anybody's familiar with IBM. They're doing doing surveys, Google with the car. All that stuff gets posted on that website as a global hub for that sort of information. And of course, we're all the communications team. We don't have a specific group of people that form the communications team, because we're all responsible for communicating this message to the outside. So that's you, the communications team. I also get asked quite a lot, like, Gilbert, what should we do? We formed a chapter and now we're just going to sit on our ass and say, we are a Zeitgeist chapter. What can we do? Well, first of all, of course, it's most important that you come up with your own ideas. But I want to show you today how simple it can be to perform activism for the Zeitgeist movement in a very, very peaceful way. I'm going to not pray while you know what I mean? I hope this works. There we go.
What would you do with your time? When it didn't exist, when it didn't exist, you guys have to work. And the standard of living design for everyone, all over the world. I was game rock here and fish my fish. Now I'm spending as much time as I possibly can with my daughter. School travel? I don't know. Coming here for the week. Enjoy my friends. Wait, what I mean here.
If I didn't have to worry about money,
Yeah.
I
say if you had a chance to change the world for the better, would you?
If I had a chance,
Yeah, what would you? Would you? Yeah. Yes. Yes. And if you had a chance to change the world for the better, would you?
oh, definitely, yeah.
Definitely, would you? All right. Yeah, everybody said.
Housing for everybody would be.
I mean, that'd be awesome.
That's the way the world goes round. Well, I was sitting in the bathtub, counting my toes when the radiator broke. The water uprose, I got stuck in the ice. Down my clothes, naked as the eyes were found.
Thank you.
That's for free. That's yours.
And then,
I'm gonna give it to you.
have you heard of it? Beyond politics, beyond poverty, I don't know my glasses on, beyond war. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
It's just more information. It's up to
Just
you.
like those dirty dancing on
One day, next to down, it's out, big water, think you're gonna drown. That's the way the world goes round.
Can you imagine a world without God?
Yeah,
How would it look?
that would be everybody living as one, just living in the present, here and now. Not worrying about the future and not tripping on the past.
All right. Now, I'm not suggesting you all go sit with a guitar and sing, but I mean, that's just a very simple example of what you can do. Just go out and talk to people. Talk about what could change in this world and plant seeds, if you will, just for them to be able to think in a new direction, because a lot of the times you encounter people, and when you're exposed to this material, you come off very strong, like you should understand this, you should understand that, but sometimes it takes much longer for people to be able to think this way, because we've all been conditioned quite hard into a certain way of thinking. So go easy on them, like those guys. All right, we're gonna move on though. I don't have much time. Let's see. This is a blinking map. I was going to get them, sorry, the images separate, but I didn't manage to. So it's going to keep blinking like the lights here in the city. We were confused. I was with my friend and we're in the taxi, and you have these crossing lights and this yellow light keep blinking. We're like, what the hell is that? Anyway, so this is a map showing Z-Days recorded for chapters. There were more Z-Days, but recorded chapter Z-Days in 2009 and 2010, and you can see how that has grown. And then we move on. This one doesn't blink, luckily. This is 2011. I got the image this morning, and this is the amount of events that we have worldwide. And you know what? I'm surprised, because with all the effort that we put in for the Zeitgeist Moving Forward release, I was expecting this map to be less crowded, but still we did an excellent job. I don't have the accurate count, but it's somewhere near 240 events, so I guess that's quite a decent number for just the small period we had in order to get this set up. All right, so like I mentioned, last year I was in New York, and I told the crowd there, I was happy because when I started being active for the movement, there were 7 chapters. And after just a short while, in March 2010, we had 250 chapters worldwide. I said then, like, well, next year we'll have the whole world. That was the original, I know. But I was happy, guys. We're gonna do this. But still, after a year of very hard work, I'm glad to say that we now have more than 1,000 chapters worldwide. Obviously, these aren't all national chapters. We don't even have that many countries, but we have different layers of chapter organization. So just so you understand where these chapters are located at, we have the continental level, which aren't actual chapters, but in reference to the chapters administration that I mentioned, this is the level of organization that we use in order to coordinate activism on a continental scale, such as Europe, America,